Hello, peeps. It's a hillbilly halfwit. How are you all today? Well, we've got something for you today. It's just a video I'm going to show you today of some drones appearing in America. Now, when I initially heard this, I thought this is nonsense and it's a bit of a wind up. But since hearing this one reporter and hearing the actual facts about this, I don't know what to say about it. I got to be honest with you. I think it probably is drones from another country. That's what I think it probably is. They do reckon it may be like a Chinese bunch of drones, but there's reports of a place where these things are all landing and going to. Now, I heard that yesterday, but it's not in this report. The what do they call it now? In the place in this area, the sea police, I forget the actual name from, went out to find out what was going on, because there's so many of these drones about, and they're not just what you see in this video. They are round about the side of a car, totally silent, with lights going around the outside, not just like you see here. And this boat, a police boat, came back with 50 drones the size of a car following it. 50. So I don't know what on earth is going on, but I got this guy who's done a great report, and you watch the video, see what you think, okay? The content in this video is intended for comedic purposes only. The views expressed in this video are not to be taken as factual information or representation of my personal beliefs. I'm critically reviewing the info and videos I show as examples. Now, what you're going to see next is you're going to see the video this guy shot of this thing, the drones that he saw. But also, there's a lady below. I couldn't put the whole interview on because it's over a quarter of an hour. And another guy on the right on the bottom of the video. They saw him in different areas. And the guy on the right on the bottom side, he saw different kinds of ones to that. They were totally silent, the size of a car. So it's weird, very weird. You watch this now.
Phenomena. And they're not just any witnesses, but three names that we all know very well, people that I know well and trust and are my friends. News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh happened to be with New Jersey police last night, out doing the job when he spotted the drones. We've got Dr. Catherine Ramsland, forensic psychologist. This woman doesn't lie. She writes the books, by the way. She saw the drones 2 nights in a row. She's known here for taking us inside the mind of serial killers. She saw half a dozen drones in Pennsylvania. I also want to welcome Scott Rouse, our go-to behavioral and body language expert. I know Scott well. He tells the truth. He saw the drones over Tennessee. I mean, look at these three have all seen them. What is going on? I want to start with Rich McHugh, though, because, Rich, you were out on the story last night, didn't know what to expect, and take it from there. I mean, what happened?
Off the top, I've been skeptical of this story. As a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist here, I thought it was going to be some sort of yahoos, and we would get a laugh out of this in several weeks. What happened yesterday completely changed my entire view on this story. Earlier in the afternoon, I was out with the Ocean City Sheriff's Department. They have a drone unit. They've investigated these things. What they've saw a bunch over the weekend. We did not see any with them last night. I was coming back home. I got a tip. Monmouth County, they're spotting them in Monmouth County. That's where I live. So I raced up here and I tried to figure out where the picture was that somebody sent me. And sure enough, I saw one. So I trailed it to a neighborhood, a dead-end street, and I got out of my car and I took my phone out with, my iPhone, and I couldn't really capture it, but I was staring literally at this drone 200 feet above me, maybe. I called our photographer, Nick, and I said, get up here as soon as you possibly can, meet me at this location, etc. I tracked a few more to the location where we are right now, over a body of water behind us. And I gotta say, Brian, over the next 2 hours, we saw dozens and dozens of these things. And they look like nothing you've ever seen before. I'm not even sure I'm right in calling them a drone. You know, they looked like they were fixed wing aircraft. They had multiple, you know, blinking lights. They did not look anything like a plane, because there's plenty of planes flying overhead. Like tonight, they're not here. We're seeing just planes. Last night was totally different. They look creepy, and they move at a different pace. We tried to even follow a couple. They went off in the distance and disappeared. It's completely rewired my brain on this topic, and I'm a believer, and we need answers, and we don't have answers, and we need someone to step up and say, here is what's going on, because otherwise, like, we're heading down this path in New Jersey and these states where people are just going to take this into their own hands.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your video right now. We have it in the middle of the screen. I know it's tough at night when you're using your iPhone and it's pitch black. You said you were near the water, but so it's kind of hard to see. But, you know, we've heard these reports from people, but hearing it from you, Rich, as our investigative reporter, knowing you, knowing the kind of work you do, it is kind of freaky to hear you say that that you couldn't identify it. Describe it a little more. I mean, how big? And, you know, when I think of a drone, you think of like it's got the four, it's almost like a little helicopter with the four rotors. Are these not, do these look different than that?
They look different. They almost look like a U-shaped or a V-shaped. They didn't make a sound. It was, you know, a couple 100 feet above us. You just didn't know what you were looking at. It was moving across the sky very quietly, and we kept saying to each other, like, Nick and I, like, what are we looking at? Like, are you getting the shot, and what the heck are we filming? There's a couple shots you can see where you can see that it's fixed wing, and it doesn't look like a plane. It almost looks like inverted. It sounds crazy as I say this now, Brian, like that's what you're seeing on the screen. That's what we were seeing right above our heads, and it happened till about 11:30 at night, and then it started to like die off, and I was like, we can stay out here all night, but I went to bed. This is my community. I've never seen these things in the sky over my community before. I went to bed thinking, like, this is wild. These things are flying over our homes, over our residences. There's a military, Earl, which is a munitions depot just like about a mile and a half behind me. They've reported sightings of these things above, and they said they're ready to take action if they need to. This is, for naysayers out there, like, this is real.
So how many did you see at once, Rich? Was it just the one, or?
Well, no, I think we would see a couple at a time in various parts of the sky over this water. And we'd be like, oh, we didn't get this shot on that one. And they'd be like, well, wait, we'll just wait. You know, I'm sure there'll be another one. And sure enough, like, one started creeping towards us. And it's like, it felt like I was in a bad sci-fi movie, like that it was just, that I was placed in, but it involved my actual hometown. It was very, very surreal.
I mean,
well, what do you think of that, peeps? Gotta say, I do believe that guy. I do believe that reporter. I don't think it's from another world or anything like that. So don't be confused with that. I think this could possibly, this is definitely some military thing, because there's too many to be being used, because there's 3,000 people seeing these things in multiple areas of the country. Now, there has been talk of Iran using drones. Now, here's what I think possibly could be happening. Now, this could well be a false flag to start a war with Iran. It sounds bizarre, but if people see this on their nightly news like that, and they shoot one of these things down and it's got Iran on the side or whatever, this could start something, couldn't it? Am I mad for thinking that? Because these things aren't from outer space or anything. These things you can see are obviously, I think, man-made. But from where? Probably America itself. Myself? That's what I think it is. Or could be from China, but they wouldn't be daft enough to use these things in the open like that. Go and have a look at this whole video and you listen to the other people talking as well, because it's too long for me to put up otherwise. But I don't know what to make of it. Because the one we saw on the screen is, when you hear the other guy talking, they weren't shaped like that one, the ones he saw, and they're totally silent. There isn't no plane noise with them like you could hear in the background there, because that's where the guy was just by an air base. So these things were totally silent. So God knows what it is. I'm open to what you lot think. I don't know, but something in the back of my brain thought they're up to something. The USA are up to something. But what do I know, eh? It's a bit of a different one today, but hope you enjoy it. Comment down below, because I genuinely don't know what they could be, but I think they're up to something. Okay? All the best. Please subscribe, by the way. All the best. Gaz.